Hello everybody, I am your ghost with the most and your fabulous host Luke here. Mario plus Rabbids is something I don't think anyone really saw coming. Well, until it was leaked, anyway. But ignoring that, the combination of these two franchises was something that I think confused people, quite frankly, and I don't think they could really picture it. But when the game actually came out, it was really good, and I really enjoyed the first game. I mean, there was an entire musical number about roasting Mario. What else could you want in life? So when it was announced there was going to be a sequel, I was pretty excited, and I got the game as soon as it came out. All things considered, the sequel is an improvement over the original in almost every single way. I know I could sit here and talk about how much I love the game and how good of a sequel it is, but I'm not gonna do that. I have heard countless people already sing the praises of this game, so I'm gonna tell you about all of its flaws because I hate happiness. Just kidding, I really like this game, but there are problems I have with it that I want to talk about. Also, by the way, spoilers for the story. Let's start off with a pretty minor nitpick. Throughout the game, we travel in a spaceship called the WMARC spaceship, but you're never allowed to actually go inside the ship. Whenever you land on a planet, you can always see the exterior, but you can never go inside of it. We see the interior during some cutscenes, and it looks like it could have made a really cute hub area. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I think it would have made the game feel a little bit more charming. Think of Mario Odyssey for a second. In that game, you're able to go inside of the Odyssey, and while there isn't much to do inside of there, the fact that you can go in there at all makes the game just that much better. Another minor problem I have is the voice acting. I actually think the voice acting is really good, but my problem is how inconsistent it is. Beepo and Genie are fully voice acted, but no one else is for some reason. I know in the first game there was that one human girl that was fully voiced, but she was only in the intro cutscene. There was also that one theater bunny who was fully voiced in the first one, but he was a one-off and had an entire musical number which was amazing, so he gets a pass. In Sparks of Hope, characters say these small phrases with distinguishing voices, which just shows me that everyone could have been voiced. Like, for example, with Mama in the second to last world.
Power's out, you know.
She clearly has her own voice actor and a distinguishing voice, but for some reason she's not fully voice acted. About halfway through the game, you meet this poet guy, and he speaks full sentences during a cutscene, but for some reason he isn't voiced when you talk to him in the game.
What have you, leaf-haloed and bosom friend? Arboreal wisdom to recommend? Begone, friends! Begone!
It's just so inconsistent and weird, and there is nothing I hate more than inconsistency. I can kind of understand why the Mario characters wouldn't be voiced, but considering the fact the Mario movie is coming out soon, I feel like the stigma around Mario characters talking is going to fade away eventually anyway. Also, the Mario characters barely talk anyway. Peach has like 3 lines, Luigi only talks once I'm pretty sure, and it's not even in a cutscene, Mario never talks, Rosalina has 10 lines, and Bowser has like 4. Even the Rabbid version of the Mario characters barely talk, to the point where when they do talk, it's just kind of jarring. Anyway, my point is, either have everyone be voice acted, or no one. It just feels like the game couldn't make up its mind. Okay, this one really doesn't matter, but I want to mention it anyway. During this cutscene, when Bowser is fighting Bedrock, all I could think about the entire cutscene was, why doesn't Bowser just breathe fire in her face? Speaking of Bowser, his inclusion in this game feels very forced. We first run into Bowser on Palette Prime. It's never explained how he got there at all. Like, this is a completely different planet that's far away from the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's never explained how he got there. If he used one of his airships, that would have made sense, but that is never stated. Bowser joins Mario because he wants to fight Cursa because Cursa is mind-controlling his army. I have several problems with this. The only members of Bowser's army we ever see being mind-controlled are Goombas and Magic Koopas, and the Magic Koopas don't show up until pretty late in the game. Last time I checked, Bowser has a bigger army than just those two species. It feels like the developers needed an excuse to include Bowser and make him playable, so they just made it so that Cursa was mind controlling his army as their excuse, without really adding any of Bowser's army into the game. This also opens up a massive plot hole, because if Cursa can just mind control people, why doesn't she just mind control Mario and everyone else? Cursa would have won instantly. And how many times has Bowser's army been taken away from him? I swear, it happens like every other week. I think a much better motivation for Bowser helping Mario would be if Cursa kidnapped Bowser Jr. Considering the fact Jr. was the main antagonist for 95% of the first game, I feel like it would have made more sense. Although, if I'm being honest, I don't think Bowser really should have been playable in this game at all, and his role should have been replaced with Bowser Jr. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Bowser Jr. is my favorite Mario character, so there might be some bias when I say this, but just hear me out. Like I said before, Jr. was the main villain of the first game, and at the end of the first game, Jr. said he would try to be better and that he owed Mario a debt of gratitude or whatever. I think it would have made more sense if Jr. was playable in this game and his dad wasn't. Besides, Bowser didn't even do anything in the first game until he was super shoehorned into the final boss fight. Oh, also, I hate this train conductor. I don't know why, but I hate him so much. Anyway, moving on to problems that actually matter are my problems with the story. Throughout the game, it's hinted that Edge has some type of connection to Cursa and the Spark Hunters, and right before the final boss, we learn that Edge used to be a Spark Hunter. The twist is obvious, but my problem isn't really with the twist itself. After Edge tells everyone her past, everyone just instantly says that they're her family and they don't care. So if there were going to be no consequences for the twist, then what was the point of the twist even being there? The twist where we find out that Rosalina was kind of cursed the whole time was a lot better, because even though the twist was also obvious, at least there are consequences when we finally learn the truth. With the Edge reveal, there's nothing. Another big problem I have with this story is the ending, because it's super rushed. This is the cutscene that plays after you beat the final boss. Everyone shoots Cursa, and it fades to black. We don't see the Comet Observatory get restored, or Rosalina thanking everyone for saving her, or anything like that. They shoot Cursa, and then it fades to black. To make matters worse, right after it fades to black, it cuts to a battle cleared screen. And that just ruins the mood even more. After that, there's a really short cutscene with everyone back at Peach's castle, which I assume takes place a few hours later, and Rosalina does thank everyone there, but the moment is kind of ruined when the final boss faded to black with a battle cleared screen right after it. The only thing that comes out of this last cutscene is that everyone says that they are a family, and I couldn't care less. This ending is super rushed and left a really bitter taste in my mouth, and it sucks because the final boss itself was really good. I don't know if me describing it really gets across how crummy of an ending it is, but if you play the game, you'll see what I'm talking about. I have always been of the opinion that endings are the most important part of any story. I even made a really bad Paper Mario video about the subject. The fact that Sparks of Hope's ending sucks so much, well, it just sucks. Anyway, let's move on. We also never find out what happened to Midnight, Daphne, and Bedrock. The game just completely forgets about their existences by the ending. The last time we ever see Midnight and Bedrock is during a cutscene with Cursa, and the first time I saw this cutscene, I thought that Cursa killed them, but it turns out that she didn't. But considering the fact they never appear again after this cutscene, I kinda wish they did get killed by Cursa, because it would have made sense why they never appeared again. Although I don't know how you could kill Midnight, because I'm pretty sure she's already a ghost, but then again, you were able to shoot her during her boss fight, so yeah, I don't know, ghosts are just weird, I guess. After Daphne's boss fight, she falls to the ground and starts breathing heavily, and then we never see her again. It's possible we may find out what happened to all of them in the DLC, but still, I just thought I'd mention it. A few more things I want to mention before I wrap this up. Most of these are nitpicks or just things I wish had happened but didn't, and they're not that big of a deal. During Daphne's boss fight, there's a cutscene that plays where she makes the moon go in front of the sun, and when I first saw this, I thought it meant the entire fight was going to be fought in the dark, which I was really excited about because that's something that never happens in the game, and it also didn't happen in the first game, I'm pretty sure. But it turns out the only reason she did that was to change the layout of the fight, and then it goes right back to being daytime, which was kind of a letdown. Something small that I think would have been really cool is if after you beat the game you were able to return to Peach's castle. I don't think it would have been that hard to put in, considering it's where the prologue took place and you were able to run around. I was kind of surprised when I beat the game that you weren't able to go back there, especially since that's where the last cutscene took place. I think it would have been neat if you had been able to go back to Peach's castle after you beat the game, and there would have been a few side quests there or something. At the end of the game, it's revealed that Curse's stronghold was actually the Comet Observatory the entire time, and I got really excited when I saw this because I thought the last world was going to be us exploring the Comet Observatory, but like in an evil form. But no, you don't even get to go on it. It's just kind of there, so it's kind of a letdown. The last thing I want to bring up is that I'm okay with Yoshi and Rabbid Yoshi not being in Sparks of Hope because there's already so many characters. But I think it would have been cool if they were in the game. Like, what if Cursa mind controlled them and you had to fight them right before the final boss? I don't know, just an idea. Anyway, so those are my problems with Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I do really like this game, but I haven't heard a lot of people talking about its problems, and since most of my channel is complaining about stuff anyway, I just thought I would do it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I have been your ghost with the most and your fabulous host, and thank you for watching.